Rhif and the 3 boxes.
Rhif waited in the great hall of the stone castle. His friends had warned him not to come. His family had warned him not to come. The mayor had demanded he stay in town, even going so far as to threaten to throw him in jail if Rhif tried to leave. Rhif was a master of numbers. The mayor claimed he was too great an asset to the people to go to such a risky journey. But the captain of the guard never questioned Rhif as he wandered out of town. They both knew what was at stake. Rhif waited for the master of the castle. The room was perfectly round. He examined the walls. A haggard man with lifeless eyes had led him through a magnificent oak door. But when Rhif surveyed the room, there was no exit to be found.
"Welcome,"
a voice called to him. How the master of the manor had come was beyond Rhif.
"It has been too long since a man has had the courage to journey to my home."
"Thank you." Rhif turned around. The room was empty.
"What do you most desire?"
Again the man's voice called from behind him. Rhif closed his eyes. His infant son appeared in his mind's eye. All Rhif could focus on was the rot consuming him. The local dawn servant had tried his best, but the rot was beyond his healing. In desperation, Rhif traveled to a place found on no map, a place only navigated by hope. Rhif opened his eyes.
"Your desire is strong. It is deep within you. It snaps to the front when called. It plays on your eyes like a clinging memory."
The man was dressed in a fine black suit, his 3-button vest perfectly tailored to his slim yet muscular body. Not a speck of dust nor a speck of fabric lay unplaced, just as not a single black hair lay unplaced on his perfectly coiffed head. Spotless leather shoes and gloves completed his all-black attire. Rhif studied the man, saying nothing. The man studied him in return, the master of the manor and the master of numbers.
"I offer you a deal."
The man's words pulled Rhif's eyes into his. The man looked down and Rhif's eyes followed. A beautiful stained cherry table appeared before them. Upon it, 3 wooden boxes of an unfamiliar dark wood, each as finely crafted as the table and no larger than a man's head.
3 boxes with predetermined consequences. Choose one. If you choose correctly, what you most desire will be yours.
And if I choose incorrectly?
You are a man of vast wealth. Traveling here alone indicates you either wanted to hide your journey or that no man was brave enough to join you. If you guess incorrectly, you will return as a pauper. Your wife will be begging for alms. In her arms, the rot will continue its consumption of your son.
I accept your deal. Then choose. Touch a box to make your choice. Rhif studied the boxes, identical in every way. No wear upon their iron clasps. None had ever appeared to have been opened. He would have liked to have held the boxes to feel their weights. But somehow Rhif knew they would be identical, just as they had been identical in every other way. The man watched him with an impassive face, a handsome face, yet somehow forgettable. Rhif reached for one box, then another. No flinch from the man's hands nor twitch from his face. Rhif had little doubt this was no man at all. Rhif had exhausted his analysis and had come no further than when he started. He tapped his finger on the first box.
Excellent.
The man hovered his hands over Rhif's box, then shied his hands away just before grabbing.
I am bound by my word, but I also propose a new deal.
With a sharp click, the man opened the third box. Inside, Rhif saw a miniature version of himself. Wearing tattered rags, alongside his wife, he outstretched his arms. In a busy street, faceless strangers passed him by. His wife's hands cradled their son, whose breasts were short and shallow. The rot was consuming him. Rhif's heart sank. All his coins and trinkets meant nothing. His family was his real treasure. The choice was no choice at all.
The original deal stands. You may keep the contents of box number 1.
The man flourished his hand over the first box.
However, you may change your choice and take the contents of box number 2.
And if I take your offer and guess incorrectly again? Asked Rhif.
Then your life is mine. You will remain here, serving me until the end of your days, and beyond.
Rhif recalled the haggard attendant that had welcomed him to the great manor. The man had no soul about him. Had this been the fate that had befallen him? Had that man made this same wager and lost? He couldn't let emotion gain the better of him. He was a man who thought with his head, not his heart. Reason was what separated man from the animals. An escalation in the stakes, Rhif mused. He rubbed his chin, contemplating his options.
2 boxes. You will keep your choice of the first box or change to the second.
The man's voice lacked all emotion.
A coin flip between life and death.
Only if you don't understand the numbers. The odds had tipped in Rhif's favor. He touched the second box with a confidence he had not felt in weeks. I'll take the second box.
The choice is made.
The man opened the first box. Inside, a miniature Rhif attended the entranceway of the castle. He had become the servant of the master of the manor. Rhif's face was solemn and soulless, all too aware of the incorrect decision he had made. For a moment he felt pity for the man currently held in that post. Rhif had gambled the lives on a 2 out of 3 chance. Not the odds he'd prefer at those stakes, but his back had been against the wall. He took the box and fled the unholy manor. For all his care, the master of the manor had given away more information than he intended. There was no need to peer inside box 2. Rhif knew exactly what was inside. He rushed home to see his son.